Before anything we know existed, before there was time, before there was form, just try to imagine it. There was just this seamless unity, a vast, silent, cosmic ocean. And I don't mean water like the kind we drink, but an ocean of pure, undiluted potential. A single substance, just flowing, boundless, and totally silent. It was all one. Water, within water. So today, we're going to explore the mystical architecture of the second day of creation. It's really a story about how our reality was engineered. We're going to move from that state of perfect unity to a necessary and kind of dramatic division, and then finally towards a higher integrated harmony. Here's our roadmap. We'll look at that world of oneness, then the great division, the two cosmic waters that came from it, the price of that separation, how harmony was eventually forged, and finally, how this whole thing is a blueprint for reality itself.
All right, so to really understand the drama of day 2, we have to go back. We first have to get a feel for what reality was like on day 1. It was a world with absolutely no boundaries, a state of pure, unadulterated unity. Now, when these ancient texts talk about water, you gotta know they're pointing to something way deeper than H2O. It's this incredible metaphor for the raw material of reality itself, a spiritual medium of just pure flowing potential. Everything that would ever exist was already there, inside this unified state, completely undifferentiated, kind of like a single drop of water in a totally endless ocean.
The dominant force of this first state, its operating system if you will, is called chesed, loving kindness. It's the principle of infinite giving, of total absolute inclusion. In the reality of day 1, there was no other, no separation, no walls, just this one, single, benevolent, all-encompassing flow. And the symbolic color here, it's pure white, representing that undiluted mercy and unity.
And then, right into this perfect, seamless unity, a voice speaks. And with just a single command, the entire structure of reality is fractured. It's rearranged and it's given a new fundamental principle. This, right here, is where our cosmic drama kicks off. Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. This isn't just about making a sky. This is the introduction of a completely radical new concept into the cosmos, separation. It's the act of saying this is not that. It's creating a boundary where none existed before. And this one command, it sets the stage for absolutely everything that follows. So this rakia, or firmament, it's not a physical thing, it's a metaphysical function. The mystics explain it as the very principle of creating space, of defining one thing against another. Just imagine a spiritual membrane, stretched taut inside those unified waters, literally pushing them apart to create the very first above and below.
You know, it's amazing how we can understand this ancient idea in totally modern terms. Think of the unified reality of day 1 as a single infinite cloud of divine data, the source code for everything. The upper waters are that raw, unfiltered potential. Then, the command "let there be a rakia" is like installing a cosmic firewall. The rakia acts as this super sophisticated separation layer, like an API gateway that filters, restricts, and gives structure to that infinite flow. And the lower waters? Well, that's our world. That's the execution layer, the local machine where that structured, filtered data gets processed and becomes the reality we can see and touch.
So we now have two distinct realities where before there was only one. Let's dive a little deeper into the nature of these two cosmic waters and the incredible force that was needed to pull them apart. This is the very architecture of our world.
The upper waters, the Mayim Elyonim, they stay connected to that original state of pure potential. They're symbolic of the masculine principle of giving, that hidden infinite flow of chesed. The lower waters, the Mayim Taktonim, they become the foundation for our world. They represent the feminine principle of receiving, the world of concrete form. And there's a real sadness here. The Zohar teaches that the lower waters actually wept, crying out, "We also want to be in the presence of the king." Their separation was a necessary but, a really painful act of creation.
You can't just separate an infinite force like chesed without an equally powerful counterforce. And that force is gevura, which means severity or strength. So if chesed is pure, unrestrained giving, like the gas pedal, gevura is the principle of restraint, of setting limits, of saying no. It's the brakes. It's the cosmic contraction that contains the infinite expansion. And it's associated with the left side, the direct counterpart to chesed on the right.
And the way gevura works, its active principle, is called din, or judgment. Now this isn't about punishment, okay? Din is the essential act of definition. It's the rule set for that cosmic firewall we talked about. It establishes cause and effect, natural law, boundaries, It's what makes a rock and not water. And with the introduction of din, a new color enters the cosmic palette. The pure white of chesed is now contrasted with the stark red of din, symbolizing the severity and strictness of this new, defining force.
You know, the ancient texts hide these amazing secrets right in plain sight. In the verses describing the second day, the word for water, mayim, shows up exactly 5 times. This is no accident. The Zohar explains that this number 5 is a hint to the 5 Sephiroth that form the main body of the spiritual worlds, from Chesed all the way down to Hod. It also points to the 5 points of 2 specific Hebrew vowels, which are the very building blocks that structure how divine speech becomes our reality. The blueprint is literally embedded in the text itself.
So we've got form, we have definition, we have the foundation of a physical world. Sounds pretty productive, right? But this act of pure division came with a pretty steep price. It created a system that was inherently unstable, incomplete, and just filled with conflict.
And this leads us to one of the most famous questions in all of Genesis. On every other day of creation, the Torah ends with the phrase, "And God saw that it was good." Every single day, except for the second day. Why? What was so wrong with this monumental act of creation?
The classic answer from the Midrash is just, it's breathtaking in its simplicity and its depth. Because on it, conflict was created. The moment you have 2 separate opposing principles, unlimited giving and strict limitation, with no bridge between them, you automatically have the potential for endless conflict.
Now, the crucial thing to understand here is that the work of day 2 wasn't bad, it was simply incomplete. It set up a necessary duality, a cosmic polarity. But a system with only 2 opposing poles and no way to connect them is just fundamentally unstable. It's like an engine with 2 pistons firing directly against each other. It creates a lot of tension, but no sustainable motion.
And the consequences of this were profound. First, malakut, or conflict, got embedded right into the system. The upper waters want to give endlessly. The lower waters exist only through limitation. Without a mediator, that's an endless argument. Even more profoundly, the Zohar teaches that this state of pure, unmitigated judgment, of all red and no white, of strict deen without any chesed to temper it, is the spiritual root of the concept of Gehenna, or hell, a reality of pure separation from the source. The system, as it stood at the end of day 2, was just not sustainable.
The conflict of day 2 just couldn't be the final word. Creation needs a resolution, a way to harmonize these 2 warring principles. And the secret to that harmony? Well, it's revealed on the very next day.
Okay, so if Chesed is the thesis and Gevurah is the antithesis, then day 3 introduces the synthesis. This is the Sephirah of Tiferet, which translates to beauty or harmony. Tiferet is the principle of the central column. Its whole job is to be the third element that can take the pure giving from the right and the strict limitation from the left and blend them into a harmonious, balanced flow. It is the great peacemaker, the cosmic mediator.
And the way this gets resolved is just brilliant. The Rakeah, the very instrument of division from day 2, isn't even named until later. And the name it's given, Shemayim, or heaven, holds the entire secret of how this cosmic conflict gets solved. So let's look at the word itself. The Hebrew word Shemayim is a compound word. The sages teach its form from Esh, which means fire, the symbol of Din, and Gevurah, the color red, and Mayim, which means water, the symbol of Chesed, the color white. So Shamayim, heaven, isn't the victory of one over the other. It is the miraculous, harmonious fusion of fire and water. It's the place where opposites can coexist and create something new and beautiful.
And this is why the third day is so unique. It's the only day where the text says, "And it was good," ki tov, twice. The Zohar explains that the first ki tov is for its own work, the gathering of the waters revealing the land. But the second ki tov, that one is for the work of day 2. It's like a retroactive stamp of completion. Only when the principle of mediation, Tiferet, was introduced and the harmony of Shemayim was achieved, could the divisive work of the second day finally be called good. You see, this cosmic drama, this arc from unity to division to harmony, it isn't just some ancient story. The mystics teach that this is the fundamental blueprint for all growth, for all creation, both on the huge cosmic scale and right down here within our own lives. So just to make sure this blueprint is perfectly clear, let's recap the whole process using a couple of modern analogies.
First up, the video game version. Imagine you're playing a cosmic world-building game, okay? Level 1 is this peaceful, unified water world. In Level 2, your objective is to create a barrier, separating the overworld from the main game world. But as soon as you do it, a warning flashes on the screen. Conflict debuff applied to the entire level. The forces are now at odds. And you'll notice the "it is a good achievement" is locked. You literally cannot get it until you reach Level 3 and initiate the Harmony Protocol, which builds a bridge between the two realms.
All right, now for the cosmic engineering version. In Phase 1, you have a single unified data stream. In Phase 2, you run firmament.exe, the separation protocol. This splits the stream into two domains, an upper, high-potential signal layer of pure source data and a lower-level processing domain for all manifest operations. This introduces a necessary system tension, or DIN, which you need for any complex functions to emerge. But the system state is flagged as unstable. Full operational stability requires you to implement Phase 3, the mediation protocol.
So this entire arc reveals a 5-step creative process that you see repeated everywhere. You start with unity, a state of pure, flowing chesshead. Then comes division, the introduction of a boundary through Gevurah. This inevitably leads to conflict, an unstable state of opposition. The crucial next step is mediation, bringing in a third balancing principle, Tiferet. And this leads to the final stage, harmony, a new, higher synthesis, Shemayim, where fire and water can finally coexist.
And that right there brings this cosmic blueprint right into our own lives. Just think about the conflicts you face, the divisions in your relationships, at work, or even within yourself. Are they stuck in that second-day state of pure opposition? This ancient wisdom suggests the solution isn't for one side to win, but for a third day to emerge, a mediating, harmonizing principle. So the question to leave you with is this: where in your life do you need a third day to bring harmony to a division? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.